a walkthrough of Monday CRM. We're not going to be able to cover everything. There's so many functionalities in Monday CRM. It's so flexible, it's so customizable. You can literally do anything with it. So I'm going to try in about 40 minutes that we have to cover everything. In the meantime, I just want to say that if you have questions, please ask them in the Q&A box. Don't use the chat. That way it will be easier for us to answer your questions. And anything that doesn't get answered during the webinar, we can take it offline. You can email support later and we'll be happy to assist you. So the agenda for today, we're going to have a webinar of around 50 minutes. We're going to have a 40-minute demo. And then at the end, I'll go over some questions that you asked in the Q&A box. And whatever was not answered, I'll try to answer live. Okay, so before we get started, by the way, I would also love in the chat if you can write how long you've been using Monday, if you're using a different CRM today and you're looking to replace it, or you're not using a CRM at all and you just want to build something from scratch. So I'd love to know that. So for those of you who don't know Monday CRM, we love to say that it's faster. Okay, it's meant for you to be able to work fast, to have control in your hands, and do everything by yourself and not rely on anyone else. And that will just allow your business to move faster and grow faster as we believe here. So the things that we're going to go over are lead and deal management. We're going to see how easy to use and flexible it can be, and how you can design it to any type of process, whether it's a sales process or not. It could be also account management. You can really take it anywhere you can because the system is so customizable. You'll see how we can use this, like we really encourage communication and to have centralized communication. We understand that relationship is something that is extremely valuable when you run a business, and we want to make sure that it's easy to use, easy to track from anywhere you are. Of course, insights and reports is a huge part of the CRM. And like I said in the beginning, when leadership has this visibility and the control is in their hands, everything just moves faster and everything is much smoother. Rather than relying on a different department perhaps to do the reports for you, you have it in your hands and you can do it yourself. And of course, the connectivity between any department from sales to post-sales. So if you're managing a sales pipeline, you're probably managing your project management or your delivery process or your customer success in another platform. It could be even Monday. So with Monday CRM, you can actually manage it all in one place and have this connectivity. And by having this cross-team collaboration in one platform, really drives the revenue, drives the efficiency that at the end of the day, your customer is going to feel the difference. So that's kind of like, my speech about Monday CRM. So what are we going to show in the demo? We are going to, there we go. So we're going to quickly review the account structure. I saw in the chat that a lot of you are new to CRM. So I think it's going to be good to start from the basic, a little bit about the structure, how the entities are built, how the boards are structured. So what is a column, a group, and some helpful functions inside the board. We're going to review the item card, or as we call it, the 360 view. We're going to look at widgets and what can be helpful for you, such as the emails and activities widget, the most useful one for CRM, where you actually manage all your communication. We're going to show a little bit about automations, integrations, and AI, of course, and some other CRM useful tools like mass email, email sequences, quotes and invoices, and finally, dashboards. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to open the platform. You guys can see the platform, right? Good. I can see that you see it. Awesome. Okay. So this is our Monday CRM. As I promised, I'm going to go over the structure really quickly, and then we're going to dive into the boards. So what we see here is the Monday CRM platform. On the top right are all the different functions that are more general, such as the notification center, all of my updates feed, so everything I've been mentioned or need internal communication on. Our apps marketplace, if you want to add additional applications on top of Monday, and the CRM settings. So from here, you can actually connect your email, set up your email privacy, your Zoom, your calendar, etc., etc. Okay, so let's move on to the left pane. So on the left pane, we have the general functions of Monday CRM. We're going to talk about it later. So like the sequences, mass email quotes, and invoices. And over here, this is where what we call the left panel or the left pane. And this is where our workspaces are going to live and our boards. So the boards is basically the core of Monday CRM. So every board will look like this. And as you can see, every board has a different name, so has a different purpose. These boards that we're looking on are entities. Some people are saying that they can't see my screen. No, it's fine. Bo, can you see my screen fine? It's not too small?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Could you just zoom in a little bit potentially? And then I think that might help.
Is that better?
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. Okay. Now, guys, if you don't have products and services, you can just create it your own, or reach out to us and we'll show you how to download it. So every entity board basically has its own function. But like I said in the beginning, the boards are completely customizable, so you can change your name as you see fit. Perhaps you don't want to call it deals, you want to call it opportunities or anything like that. Now the boards are going to live inside the workspace. You can also add a folder to just make your life more organized. So for example, I'm going to add a folder and I'm going to put products and services and projects inside the post-sales folder. And inside the folder and the boards, we can split it into workspaces. The workspaces allow me to have, as the name suggests, different spaces for different work types. So it could be that I would love to have a CRM for every single region of my business. Or perhaps I want one workspace to be my CRM, but then another workspace to be the delivery guys or the project management team or anything like that. So you can utilize those workspaces in order to really create separation between your work environments. So this is my workspace, the CRM walkthrough demo. And as I was saying, it has the different entities. Let's go ahead and start by looking at the contacts entity. And again, remember guys that, as I said, and I will say it probably many times, that Monday CRM is extremely flexible. So you can do and you can manage anything with it. So if I'm going to show you contacts, but for you, perhaps you are from the real estate world, and instead of contacts, you want to call it investors, or you want to call it prospects or patients, okay? Whatever fits your need. You can just change it. You can change the entire terminology of the board, the groups, okay? You can add your own groups. You can even change this title of the item name and basically customize the CRM to your needs. So in my case, it's gonna be managing contacts, leads, deals. And if you don't need a certain entity, like for example, you don't want to use let's say the account, okay? You're managing a B2C business, you're selling to people, they're not linked to a specific company or account, no problem. You can just go ahead and remove one of the CRM board that is not needed. Cool. So let's talk about the contacts board. So I'm going to close the left pane just so that we can see some more information. And let's review the board structure and some functionalities that go with it. So every board will have the groups. As you saw, I can change the group names, I can switch the order, I can add as many groups as I need. And within each group, we're going to have items. In every board, every item represents something else. In my case, the item is a contact. So I'm going to have columns, which are the Monday building blocks. And every column will serve its own purpose. So I have here in the contacts, I want to manage the actual information of the person. So I will have his email, the account that it's connected to. So Robert from Amazon, Stephen from Google, the deals that are connected to it. So I can actually see the contact person had this, for example, Robert for Amazon has 2 deals connected to it, already worth $1 billion, of course. His phone number, his title, what type of contact is he, a customer, a partner, a vendor. And again, this can all be customized. So you can add your own label or customize the existing ones, delete, etc. Priority, comments, and what company they're from. Over here, we have the activities. I'll talk about it in a second, but basically this column allows me, the activities timeline allows me to actually see all the activities, the engagements, the touch points that I'm doing with my customer or with my contact. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so like I said, the columns are also very customized. Everything is customizable, also the columns. So for example, if you don't want to call this accounts and you want to call this companies, you can just change this, okay, to whatever you need. Other board functionalities that are extremely useful can be found here in this toolbar. So obviously the search option, the filter is extremely useful. Perhaps you want to, I don't know, talk to or see only the contacts that are leads and their title perhaps is CEO and CIO. And this will filter and only will give you the results of the people that you're looking at. You can also do group by, so kind of like pivot the information that you have on your board based on the columns that you have on the board. So for example, perhaps I don't want to see my contacts just by active and inactive. I would maybe love to see it by the type. So show me all my customers and all my partners, right? So divide it like that. So these are some useful functionalities. You have some other functions here. I suggest you just go in, play, and see what can be done. Things like conditional coloring in Monday CRM compared to other platforms is so easy to use. So all you have to say is color this row red if, for example, the deal value is smaller than 1,000. Okay, I might want to color this and be aware that I have a contact who's not worth a lot of revenue for me, or that I have some upsell opportunities. Right, so you can really play with it and make it exactly as you need. Okay, awesome. Now, if you ask yourselves, how can I add contacts? How can I add new contacts? So of course you can add new contacts straight from here. So just by typing it manually, you can see it colored in red because my deal value is low. Now, when I add a contact, I can add it manually like that. And then I can just start typing in the information about the contact. If I want to add mandatory fields, I can do it from the board menu. So I can go ahead and add item creation form. And then basically every time I want to add a contact, it will force me to fill out the information that I suggest to be mandatory. For example, the email, right? So I'll make it required. And then if I want to come and add a new contact, I'll have to submit their email. Otherwise, it won't let me add a new contact. This is a great way for you to actually maintain your data intact and make sure that nothing, fills out with a lot of junk inside your CRM. Of course, we have other capabilities of adding new items into the board, whether it's a contact or whether it's a new lead, a new opportunity, a deal that you're managing. My favorite way is to add a Monday form. So you can add a view from here of a form, and basically every column that we saw on the board is going to be a question on the form. Everything can be customized, so you can choose what question you want to hide from the form. So it will be hidden from the form, but it will still be a column on your board. You can customize the form by adding colors, by adding your logo, perhaps putting your background image, really whatever you want. And then this form can actually be shared via link, or you can embed it to your website. You can also add UTM tags into this form. So if this form at the end of the day will be published in different campaigns that you're setting, or on your website, your LinkedIn page, and you can add the UTMs in order to understand where new contacts or new leads are coming from. And of course, the good old-fashioned way of importing from Excel. So if you've just, exported your Excel of contacts from somewhere and you want to upload it, you can do it from here. We have this Excel upload, which is super easy. Just follow the steps. And of course, you can create integrations. So if you want to bring leads from LinkedIn or from MailChimp or other platforms that you might be using, just look at our integrations and see what can work for you. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and see what happens when I add a new contact. So let's, for example, add, again, Dana from Google, let's say. So I'm going to write Dana from Google, and I'm going to save it as a new contact. So now, the moment that I add a new email, obviously it's going to locate the account based on the domain of the email. So it noticed that Dana is from Google, so it immediately connected it to this company, Google. In my case, Google is a company that already exists in my database, so it's connected to it. If not, it will create a new company and connect. So I'm going to quickly jump to the accounts board just to show you how it looks like. So this is the accounts board, and we can see here that we have the company Google, and we can see the contacts that are connected to it. Now, something else we can see here is the enrichment. So every time I'm going to add a new company, it's going to create the enrichment on the company, right? So let's say, for example, I'm adding Monday.com. The minute I add it, it will be enriched. We have a native integration with Crunchbase, and as you can see, it enriched it, gave me the industry, the description, how many employees, the headquarters, and so on. And the moment that I add new contacts from this company, it will be connected, right? So if I add, say this is my name, I added spam into my CRM, so it's going to be connected to the company. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual management of the contact. So the part about communication, relationships, and how do we do that? So for every single item in every single board, we are going to have the item card, or as we call it, the 360 view. The 360 view because it gives me a view of all my contact, all my interactions I've ever done with the contact, the account that is connected to the contact. And again, this can also be customized, and you can do whatever you need with it. So over here, I opened Sam Jones. He's one of my contacts. And we have this widget, emails and activities, where this is the place that we are going to centralize mostly external communication, but also log any activity that I'm doing with this contact. So we can see here the different activities that I've had with the client. I've had several meetings. I'm not very good in documenting what happened in this meeting. So let me show you an example. If I want to add a new activity, for example, I want to log a meeting that I just had, I can use a template that I created and put here, meeting title, demo. Decision is we will talk after the holidays. Okay, I can log the meeting, I can add it, and you will see here that a new block of meeting log has been added. I can also, of course, send emails from the Monday CRM. So the fact that we can send emails and we can document activities from Monday CRM really makes sure that everything stays in one place and that I have one place to view all my interactions with the contact. So no more asking people, hey, have you emailed this client? Have you talked to them? What happened in the meeting? I want to see the notes, right? Everything is in one single emails and activities timeline where I can see all the information. Now, in order to use it, you just need to make sure that you have everything integrated. So in my case, I have the email integrated. I can send emails. Again, I can use also email templates from here. Of course, when you send the email, you can use the personalized fields. So you can use fields from the board, right? So you can use hi, first name, this is Dana from this company, blah, blah, blah. And you can use email tracking. So you can actually track your email and see if this email has been opened, how many times. If you sent an email with a link, then the link is also going to be tracked and you will be able to see if they clicked on the link and how many times. Of course, add attachments and use AI assistant to help you write the email with AI. One of the coolest functionalities that I like is the fact that you can send an email not just from your account. So if you give permissions to other users to send from each other's emails, you can also do that. So that gives you also the ability to have one shared email inbox, sales@monday.com, that everyone can use and everyone can reply and answer those emails from. Okay, so let's go ahead and send the email. Just don't want to spam anyone, so I'm going to create a fake email. And email has been sent. Now, of course, if you do integrate your email or your calendar, even if you send emails from your Gmail or Outlook, it will be recorded in here. So even if you don't send the email from Monday, if you choose to, it will still be recorded in here. Now, what other integrations do we offer? So we have the Outlook integration to email and calendar, same as Google Calendar and Gmail. We also have a Zoom integration. So every time you have a meeting, so let's say if I had a Zoom meeting with Sam from Apple, then if I integrated my Zoom, I will see here a block of my Zoom meeting with the transcript, with the recording, and with the AI notes inside the Zoom block. This is regarding emails and activities. Now, inside the widget, you have the settings. You can also get to it from the general settings that I showed you in the beginning. But in the settings, you can actually set up the permission. So who can you share the email with? Who can read your emails? Who can write emails in your behalf? You can set up different things like how to log the emails. You can set up automations on the email. So, for example, you want to create an automation that whenever an email is opened, notify someone or change the status to something. So anything like that, I suggest to explore the capabilities. And of course, you can add different functions like signature or the branding, the templates, type of emails that you never want to log in your CRM, etc., etc. So this is about emails and activities. We have other widgets inside the Monday item card, and I'll switch to the leads board to show you what other exists. So this is our leads board. In many cases, you want to separate your sales, let's say entities from contacts, accounts to leads, opportunities. I've seen clients who do it all in the contacts board, but some people love to split it and basically create their own leads board. And as you can see, I still have like names of actual contacts, but I get them as a new lead, and then I can convert the lead, right? So from new lead, I can then say, okay, I contacted them, and then they're actually qualified. And if they're qualified, then I want to create a contact. Okay, so you can really choose to create this workflow however you want. So in the leads board, I also have similar columns like information about this lead, who this person is. I have some cool automations here, like whenever this is qualified, I can click move to contacts, and then this lead is going to be moved into the contacts board and created as a contact. Let's open up this this lead, in this case Amber, and I want to show you the other way of looking at the item card. So here, because this is the leads board, we also have the stages widget. So we can actually see the stages of the pipeline, or the lead stages in this case, and change it from here and basically see the progress of the lead. Over here, I also have the emails and activities, where I can see every single interactions I've had with this client. And remember, I showed you the column of activities timeline before. So every single activity is going to be documented in this column as well. By the way, guys, if you don't see this column on your board, it's pretty new, so make sure that you add it. If you don't see it on your board and you want to add it, just click more columns and search it in here. You have other columns that might be useful for you. And in this case, just search for activities timeline and you'll be able to add it. So the activities timeline really gives you visibility into your interactions with the client. And if you have a very large deal or a lead that you really believe in, but you don't see any activities, you can talk to your team, or you can know that this customer or this prospect actually needs your attention. So this column really gives you a nice view of what's going on, and you can also hover in order to see exactly what type of interactions happened with this client. So back to opening Amber. So I showed you the stages widget. We have the emails and activities. We have the information widget, which basically shows me the columns from my board. And I just want to show you how you can customize it. So when I go to edit, I can customize it however I want, and I can add more widgets. So again, I won't show everything here, but I do want you to be conscious of the fact that we have this functionality, and to be able to create your own. So you can customize it. And if you want to show, perhaps, again, you are a real estate agent and you're managing properties. So you want to upload files of the property or pictures. So go ahead and add a files gallery so you can have it very easily. And anything like that, you can customize and make it your own. Now, let's talk again about emails and activities. I want to show you the AI functionality, one of my favorite functions that we have added. So as you can see, I have different interactions with the client. When I click on AI summary, it will basically read all the interactions that I've had, meetings, emails, my own personal notes, and it will give me a summary of what happened with this contact or with this lead. I can copy the information and I can also add it to the timeline. So it will be added as a block from here. And I can actually see the summary that it gave me. For example, client expressed excitement about moving forward. We've had a productive demo and she raised follow-up questions, blah, blah, blah. I have key details like the pain points, her needs, and suggestions of next steps. So this really gives me a way to work faster. If I'm a manager and I want to come here and I want to see the summary of what happened in the last few weeks, I just click on it and the AI is going to allow it. Now, I want to show you another way of using AI inside your board. So I'm going to add a text column, or in my case, long text column. And I'm going to call it interactions summary. So interactions summary. And I'm going to paste all the information that came from my AI. I'm going to put it in here. And what I can do is I can now add different columns according to what I want to manage based on this interaction, based on the interaction summary. Oops, I pasted it in the wrong place. Never mind. So for example, I want to add the forecast. Okay, so I want to add forecast of the lead. So lead close probability, let's call it probability. And what I can do, I can autofill with AI. So I can go here and I can choose different AI functionalities to create, to do, or to generate on top of the board. So for example, I can ask it to detect the sentiment from the summary that I just created. I can ask it to extract information. Now, by the way, extracting information can also be from a file. So if I uploaded a file, like maybe a contract, I can ask it to extract the information from the file. I can summarize, translate, or create my own custom action. So I can choose to say, based on the summary and I will choose the summary, the interaction summary column. What do you think the probability of this lead? We usually will do it on a deal, but I showed it here on a lead, so let's go with it. Let's go with the flow to be closed. We can also give it like more specification by saying, give me a score between 1 to 5, or give me a percentage between 0 to 100, right? So we can do really whatever we want with it. And then once we submitted the prompt, we can see that AI actually read all the interaction summary and high probability of closing, 70% probability. Now we can add more functionalities, whatever we want. So we can add a status column and maybe give labels to the status, like for example, a low, medium, high. And we can ask AI to categorize to low, medium, high based on the summary or based on whatever information I gave on the board. So I hope you understand the functionality. We have a lot of material about how to use AI. So again, I suggest you start by creating a text or a status column and working out with AI and see the different things that you can do. The custom action really gives you endless possibilities of creating shortcuts or just making your CRM much, much smarter. Now, you can set up AI from the automations, not just AI. You can create many different automations. The automations are super easy to build. It's a very easy function of when this happens, do this. So for example, I can say when the status changes to contacted, then use AI to summarize, okay? So any function that I just showed you on the AI column settings can also be done on an automation. But other things can be done here as well, like when status changes to contact, notify someone. Okay, or maybe I want to say when status changes, I don't know, I assign a certain person. Like if the region is EMEA, then assign this person or this team. So really you have here so many options. You just have to search and see exactly what you're looking to get and set up the automations. We can also say that when status changes to, I don't know, qualified, then maybe even send an email. And whenever you connect your Gmail or your Outlook, you can create an automation based on that. So think about what you want to build, write it down, map it out for yourself, and just start building it. Also, you have different templates of automations. So you can see different examples of how automations can be used. Also together with other platforms. So if you're using Slack or Microsoft Teams, you can see the different examples over here. Okay, cool. And by the way, everything is in our help center, right? So if you want to learn more about automations, just type here automation, and you'll see so many results like articles, blogs, videos, how-to videos. So everything is available for you here. Okay, cool. So let's stay on the leads board and talk about other ways that we can communicate with our lead automatically, other ways to actually make us more effective and work faster. So what I want to show you right now is the email sequences. The email sequences is a native capability inside Monday CRM that allows you to create sequences for every single contact. So let me show you how we build one, and then I can show you how to use it in the actual workflow. So to reach sequences, I clicked here on the top left of the Monday CRM. And as you can see, these are all my active sequences. So this is the sequence that's working the best. Welcome email. Okay, so it's connected to the leads board. So every lead that comes into my board will get a welcome email, and you can see that the sequence has 6 steps. The length of the sequence is 20 days, and you can see that it has an open rate of 30%, whereas my other sequences are very low. So first of all, the fact that you're sending sequences, you're sending emails automatically to contacts, saving you a lot of time. It also gives you these analytics, so you can actually reach out to people automatically, not having to write emails to every single prospect. So you can create your own outbound campaigns, upload or import a bunch of leads that you have and start the sequence. So let's create one and see how it works. So for example, let's do an outbound campaign. This outbound is going to be connected to contacts maybe, or leads, whatever I want. And now I need to start building my sequence. So the first step is going to be an automatic email. So I'm gonna reach out by saying, learn more about our platform. And then I can say, hi, of course, first name. I'm going to take this information. Hi, first name. Nice to meet you. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to write here a nice email. And again, I can also track it to make sure if my emails are being read, opened, and so on. So on the first day of the sequence, I import the contact. Boom, they're going to get this automatic email. Then I can add another sequence. Let's say after 5 days, if they haven't answered me, I'm going to send automatically an email is going to be sent. So this time I'm gonna say, haven't heard from you. Hey, just following up. Blah 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 blah. Never mind my typos. Right, so 5 days after, if they haven't answered, they're gonna get another email. Then I can move on to manual email. So maybe let's say, oops, I forgot to add a wait time. So I'm gonna move this to the bottom, and let's say after 10 days, if they haven't answered, then it's going to send the salesperson or the person that's using the sequence a reminder to send a manual email, because maybe we don't want to send 3 emails automatically and we just want to remind them. So I've built a sequence. I can go ahead and set up my rules for the sequences, like where this email is going to be sent from. So from my email, which days not to send emails. Don't send it on weekends. Don't send it after 3 p.m. and only after 10 a.m., for example. And you have different rules, like when to remove a person from a certain sequence, what to do if someone clicked on the link or someone opened the email, things like that. So again, I suggest you just try it out, send a few test emails, see how it works, open the emails, see that the open rate and the reply rate is jumping, and actually you'll be able to create A/B tests, right? So if you create a few campaigns for outbound or for inbound leads, you can see which campaign works best. You can see what type of communication works best on your prospects. So that's regarding sequences. Now, if I go back to the leads and you ask yourself, okay, so I built the sequence. Now, how do I assign people into the sequence? So first of all, if let's say you just imported all your leads, you can then mark them and add them to the sequence. You can choose what sequence you want to add them to, and they will be added manually. But if you want it to be part of your workflow, and you want every time that someone is added as a new lead to get assigned to a sequence, or every time you change a status to new lead, or you change the priority of the contact, it will enroll them to a sequence. You can do so from the automations. So you go to the automation center, you search for sequences, and you'll see the different functions, the different capabilities or automations that exist within the sequences. So like I said, when an item is created, enroll the person, or when a status changes, or you can add also different automation functions, like if they replied, notify someone, or change a status, or set a date to something. Now, by the way, guys, almost for every feature inside the CRM, you have the feedback button. So please submit the feedback. I promise you that our product and developers are actually reading your feedback. So if you're using the sequences and you want a certain function that doesn't exist, write to us and we'll make sure to address it. Okay, stopping for a sip of water. Okay, awesome. So we talked about sequences. I hope it's clear. I hope you find it incredible like I do. And now I want to show you another functionality. So for example, if I have my contacts, I can also send mass emails, so separate email to many people. So for example, I can send to 50 contacts in my board a mass email. So for example, I don't know, it's the holidays and I want to send all my clients happy holidays. Okay, so I will send happy holidays, or maybe I'm sending a newsletter every month. So again, I'm going to pick and choose my contacts and I'm going to send an email. So now in this case, 7 people are going to receive, of course, separate emails. I can use email templates. I can also use HTML in order to format this email to look nicer with pictures and things like that. And of course, also here I can use the AI assistant. I can choose where to send, when to send this email. So perhaps I'm working late, but I want this email to be sent out next week. I can schedule the email. And I can also send a test email to myself just to make sure that it looks good. So we talked about many email functionalities, the fact that you can just send an ad hoc email, you can send an email from your inbox and get it captured inside emails and activities. Just don't forget to do the integration. And you can send mass emails and you can enroll into email sequences. Awesome. So now let's go ahead and look at our deals board. In this board, we actually manage the pipeline. So we have different columns like the deal value, who is the owner of the deal. So whenever I assign a specific owner, they're going to be notified. I have the deal value. Each deal is going to be connected to a contact and account. So I can see that this Google deal, I'm managing it with Steven. I have other fields like the expected close date, the close probability, the forecast, and so on and so forth. And I have the quotes and invoices. Again, this is a pretty new functionality. So if you don't see this column, just search for it in the column store and add it to yourself. Now, the quotes and invoices is meant for me to create a quote or an invoice directly from the platform. So you can set up your own quote or your own template. And once you do, you can actually create the quote from here. When I added the template, when I created the template, I chose to put my company logo, my signature. I chose the board that they're going to pull in the recipient information, the billing information. If I'm managing product and services, then some of you asked about it in the beginning, it will pull information directly from the product and services board. Now, guys, if you want to use quotes and invoices, but you don't have a product and services board, it's not a problem. You just add a board of your own, create the columns that you wish. So for example, I'm selling a service of, I don't know, consultation hours. Okay, consultation hours. I can add an item of consultation hours. Let's say I charge $50 an hour. In this case, I don't have a SKU, but I can choose whatever I want. And then when you set up the quote and invoice for the first time, you actually choose to connect it to the product and services board. Now, same as sequences, we also have one dedicated place for the quotes and invoices. So you can actually see all the quotes that I opened. You can see their information in here. And you can build a new one from here. So this is how you create a new template. And this is where you choose the boards to connect to this invoice. So if you have your product and services, go ahead and connect it here. Now, again, we have all the information about the quotes and invoices and how to use it in our knowledge base. So let's go back to the deals board. So then, of course, once you add a quote, it will be added in here and you will be able to download it as a PDF, send it as an email to your client. So the deals board, inside the deals item card, again, is going to be designed to manage your world. So it will have the tasks, it will have all the contacts that are related to this deal, and you can again customize it however you need. You can also utilize the different views. So if this is a table view, because we're seeing everything in the table, perhaps when it comes to managing my pipeline, I want to see it as a pipeline view. So I actually see all my deals and I can see the revenue of the entire stage of the funnel. So if I move this to discovery, I can see how much revenue is lying within this stage. I can move it straight from here. And when I move the items or when I move the deals, it will change their status inside the table view. So everything is connected. We are just seeing the table, the information on the table. We're seeing it in a different view. And one of the most crucial things are the dashboard. So over here, I have my report of anything that's inside the deals board. So things like looking at the monthly forecast, the stages distribution, and over here, the activity tracker. So I can actually see how many activities have been created by my team members. In my case, I'm the only one who created activities because I'm such a hard worker. So you can actually see that I created 2 activities and I sent 2 emails. I can also play with the settings of the widgets, so I can actually maybe see it not as the activity creator, but maybe as a type. So I want to see how many emails are being created versus how many meetings are being created, and so on and so forth. So you can really play with it and create whatever you want. I suggest you start by adding a widget of your own and look at how easy it is to set it up. And this is what I meant when I said in the beginning that leadership, managers, you have the control to create your own visibility, to create your own reports with a few clicks, because we made sure that everything will be extremely easy to use. So for example, if you want to add, if you want to see, I don't know, let's see, yeah, by stage, it's nice. So I want to see how many deals I have for each stage. Maybe I don't want to count the number of deals. Maybe I want to look at it by deal value, or maybe I even want both, and I can see it like that. So again, dashboard is also one thing that we have so many material about. We have videos, articles, and so on. So this was the report inside the deals board. We also offer a dashboard of its own, so you can create an entity of a dashboard and basically see the information there, see the widgets, and customize it from there. I love using dashboards. I've seen clients that they have many different type of dashboards, and each dashboard can be filtered to only see a certain person or only see a specific team and so on. And lastly, I want to talk about client projects, because we mentioned in the beginning that one of the benefits of Monday CRM is the fact that we can create this connectivity between the teams. So for example, once a deal is won, let's go back to the deals, I can set up an automation that when a deal is won, it will create a new project and will assign the relevant owner. So if you're managing, for example, if you're managing a logistic company and every time you close a deal, you want the people from your factory or from your delivery to be notified with a new project or a new order that's coming up, you can set up this connectivity. You can also move them to be on a different workspace, so they don't have to live inside your CRM workspace, and you can start managing it from here. And believe me, once you start connecting the teams together and you have this collaboration, you will see how you are working faster, and everything is just smoother, and you have visibility on what's going on, not just on the sales pipeline, but as a business owner, you have visibility on all your ongoing projects, your pipeline, your leads, etc., etc. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. I just want to show you one last thing, which is our Monday experts for CRM. If you guys are just getting started and you want to set up your CRM correctly, I want to offer this page. You can just reach it by monday.com. Just search in Google monday.com experts for CRM, or we will send you this link in the email after the webinar. We will send you an email after the webinar with the recording of the webinar and the link to the experts. So you have here different packages. We created those packages specifically for CRM. So you will see that they are very, their price is pretty comfortable compared to the industry. And you can choose the package that is right for you. So if you're just setting up your CRM and you want to get expert to help you set it up, or set up a certain integration, or you just want to create a better adoption for you and your team, I really suggest going over these packages and seeing what can be helpful for you. And I just want to remind you all that we have the help section. So if you feel comfortable and you feel confident and you want to learn everything your own, I suggest to just get into our knowledge base, learn everything that you need, use our community to ask questions, or contact us if you have any questions. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this webinar and that you found it useful. I can see that all of the questions were answered in the chat. So if you do have more questions, feel free to email us at support@monday.com and we'll be happy to assist you. So thank you, everyone. I was Dana, the go-to-market manager for the CRM, and I really enjoyed this time, and I hope you did too. All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.